Don't ask what's in my cup. Hey, it's Yay. Hey, it's Yay. Hello, everyone. It's Yay. Back with another episode of Don't Ask What's in My Cup. And today, we're going to be talking about a little bit of a recap of my previous interviews that I've had. So, if you have not done so already, go check them out. Don't just do this. This not Spark Notes. Don't just come and get the review. Go watch those previous videos and then tune in. But before we get into today, we need to make sure our lovely people, I see y'all watching. You might as well go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Also, follow me on Instagram at Sippin' with Yay. That's Sippin' No G-Y-E. Tune in. I want to give a quick shout out to my wonderful interviewees that I had this previous set. Shout out to Toby. Shout out to Kenny. Shout out to Michael. You all are wonderful men of faith, and I love you all, and I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for coming into my space and giving us some of those gems and things that you gave us. Again, tune in if you haven't done so. I'm going to talk about a little bit of what I got out of what they told me, and y'all can go ahead and let me know what y'all got. Cool? Let's get into it. So we started this sequel with the lovely Michael Mobley, my fellow colleague that we graduated from high school together. We always run into each other because we be in the same places and doing the same movements and things like that. So always a pleasure to connect with my mans. I love him so much. And what he spoke about was this thing called introspection. Introspection, right? Right? Which means check yourself before you come for anybody else. Looking what is within before you actually go forward, okay? Because there's some things that can stop us. It's this thing called self-sabotage. I don't know if you heard about it. I am definitely guilty of it. Baby, I self-sabotage in a minute. I wait till the last minute, do it. Can't accept a compliment. Those are signs of self-sabotage, right? We talked a little bit about that. And then we also talked about trying to figure out how can we tend to those things within so that we can walk in our full purpose, right? So, if it's therapy you need, do it. If it's reflections, do it. If it's tapping into your faith, do it. Do what you need to do. Tap into that inner you so that you can go into your full purpose, okay? I don't want to hear about the woulda, coulda, shouldas. What's stopping you? Most of the time is you, okay? So you need to figure out what's within you that you need to conquer so that you can walk in your full purpose, right? Thank you, Michael, for talking about that. He's living in his purpose. He's walking in it. He's blessed so many souls with his light, and I love that. And I love always having a conversation with him, so you should definitely check that out. The next person we talked to was my stepfather, Kenny Lashley. And he talked about another man of faith, right? He talked about this idea of being a role model. Now, think about this, okay? I know a lot of us don't see ourselves as role models, right? But you will be surprised at how many people are looking up to you. Okay? Again, I'm speaking from experience. I have a lot of cousins, little cousins. I just check in with them here and there. You know, I be the cousin, right? However, you'll be surprised at how many people lives you tap into. Kenny talked about his work with alternative schools and living situations, and how many students, youth that he's touched in his work within these 20 years. Thousands. That's thousands of students he has encountered within this work. Yes, no, he may not see this work overnight. No, he may not even know the impact he had on that student's life. However, it's the effort, baby. It's walking in our purpose, right? We got to get out of this, do as I say, not as I do. No. We need to walk in a purpose, and they need to see it. A lot of our youth hear that all the time. You can yell, dictate, demand all you want. However, if they not seeing different, they ain't gonna be different, right? And I'm just telling y'all real. Let me say it in a better way. In order for our youth to do better, they must see better. So, if you want them to be better, you must try to figure out how you can be better for them too. You should want better for you so that you can be what that youth needs, okay? Let me tell you something. I do this work for, I don't do this for me. I don't do this work for me. I do this work for my community. I do this work for the youth. I do this work not for me, okay? I take me out. I want to know how I can impact someone else. And that's how we should be thinking about things. We want to leave legacies, okay? We must leave legacies, okay? Because these bodies are temporary. Did you hear me? These bodies are temporary. But you want to leave something that's going to go on for years to come. So what is that? What does that look like for y'all? What does that look like? That's what we need to plan for. So shout out to Kenny, because thinking about, again, we may not see ourselves as role models, but you'll be surprised at how many people are watching you, how many people are looking up to you. I got older cousins that are telling me that what I'm doing is inspiring them. Little old me. I had people that I lost that told me, like, I'm living vicariously through you. Me? Like, why me? But, again, with that comes responsibilities. We have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to our youth. And that is why we need to pour into them. And we need to lead by an example. That's all I'm going to say. And then last but not least, shout out to Olawatobi. First gen, graduating, getting his master's. Man, spoke a lot about centering everything that he does within God. Now, all right, this is a touchy subject, but let me just tickle your brain a little bit, okay? Let me tell you what I believe as Ye. Let me tell you what Ye thinks, okay? Because we sipping with Ye, right? Hold on. So here's the thing, okay? I believe that God is love, yeah? So whenever I do things, I put God in the perspective of love. Not just love. I want to specify unconditional love. Let's break that unconditional down, right? Unconditional means no conditions. Meaning, I'll love you if, not a thing. I love you when, not a thing. I love you all the times, but not a thing, okay? I love you for you, not for how you feel, what you did, what you've done. I love you for you because that's all you. Because that's what I believe that God does for us. And who am I? Who am I not to do the same, right? So that is my first thing. And I also believe these three things to be true. I believe that you are to love God, you are to love others as you love yourself, and you are to love yourself. And if you can't do these three things, then you're not doing things right. Like, if that's not what is centered in, and if that's not your intention, then that's when I need to think about where I'm doing this and why I'm doing what I'm doing, okay? Because intentionality is key. And we talked about that in that video. So with that being said, if I'm not centering what I'm doing in that unconditional love, then there's a problem. There's a disconnect, right? And so what Toby spoke about was making sure he stayed centered and grounded, okay? He spoke about making sure that there's intentionality in what he's doing and knowing why he's doing it and who he's doing it for, right? And a lot of times, we don't do that. We don't. It's me and mine. Na 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 na. Okay. Yes. 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 Hurt is a thing. Anger is a thing. Grief is a thing. These are all things. Yes, we must go through them. And oh, this is what we talked about. Honestly, this is what my pastor's speaking about right now. Yes, we go through things, but the key word is through them, right? That means we don't supposed to get stuck there. We don't supposed to, that's not the stop. That's not where we land. That is just the path, okay? And going back to what Michael and I spoke about is thinking about why, okay? Because we're only supposed to go through these things. But if we continue to go through these things, because I always say, I've been there, done that, I ain't doing it again, and da-da-da-da, I learned my lesson. Well, if you learned your lesson, we wouldn't be back at this point, right? Clearly, there is something missing here. And so I ask you, what did you learn from this? What was you supposed to get from this? Because if you got what you were supposed to get, you wouldn't keep going through it. I know y'all watch the movies where like they go through a looping cycle until you actually learn what you're supposed to get or get what you're supposed to get from it. What was you supposed to get? Because again, we're supposed to go through things, right? If we are still stuck in it, we can't get through it. So, and most of the time, we are in our own way. What I say? Self-sabotage, right? Self-sabotage means that you're in your own way. And me and Michael talked about that too. Tune in. We spoke about this idea of sabotaging situations for ourselves, which is what self-sabotage is. Like, oh, I'm not good enough, or they looking at me this way, or like, I can't take a compliment. These are all things I personally suffer through. And it's a real thing. People go through this all the time. When are we going to get out the way so we can bypass this, so we can get through these things, right? We need to figure that out. We need to go, that's introspection, baby. You need to go within so that you can figure out why you keep getting to this point. What is the root of this? And then that is when we can tap into our purpose. That is when we'll actually know where we need to go. That is when guidance comes. That is when support comes. When we can actually welcome support, baby. Because it shouldn't be I've been doing it on my own forever. I don't need nobody else. Yes, you do. We all need somebody to lean on. Ain't that what the song say? Lean on me when you're not strong. I ain't gonna sing the song. Anyway, we all need somebody to lean on. Regardless of how tough, how strong, how independent we are, we all need someone to lean on. And we need to be receptive to that support. We need to be receptive to that help. We can't get there unless we heal. And I done talked about this before. That's something we need to keep thinking about. How can we overcome self-sabotage? How can we overcome this do as I say and not what I do? How can we make what we say what we do? How can we lead by an example? What does it take? What does it take? Baby steps. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. But we got to think about these things. And I love that that's what we talked about. Because again, I'm working on that. Y'all, I was gone for a minute. I missed y'all. I did. I didn't miss y'all. I did. I missed y'all a lot. However, I went into that self-sabotage. Like, maybe I'm not speaking right. Or maybe that... I do believe God has put me here for a purpose. And I need to tap into that. But I can only do so when I get out the way. So, how y'all gonna get out the way? What's holding y'all back? Put it in the comments. What's y'all first step to making sure you all are those role models? What's y'all first step of getting out the way? What's y'all first step to centering yourself on your faith or your spirituality or your whatever you believe? What is your first step in tapping into that and walking by it? Because that's where it starts. It starts within. And then whatever's within can start to pour over and overflow and exude. And then you see what it is. But it starts within. So, with that being said, think about it. Thank y'all for tuning in. Go forward. Shed love. Shed light. And don't ask what's in my cup.